I'm Diana Blass, and this is In the Mix. Restaurants are still facing a tough market, labor issues, supply chain hiccups, and inflation. All topics we've been covering in our interviews these past few months, and we're now seeing play out in the latest earnings reports. Last quarter, Nation Restaurant News covered 23 publicly traded companies, encompassing over 30 brands, and we found many restaurants to be bracing for a recession. Nation Restaurant News' Leanne Zimmeister has more details.
The best performing company last quarter by same-store sales increases year over year was Sweetgreen with a 16% increase, although that company also laid off 5% of its corporate staff, which indicates some pessimism about the state of the economy these days. The worst performing companies were Wingstop and Dutch Bros, although those companies both saw decreases of just 3.3% of same-store sales. Wingstop, of course, is coming down from incredible pandemic highs in 2020 and 2021 and is also settling in under its new leadership. CEO Michael Skipworth just took the reins in March of this year. Dutch Bros, on the other hand, not skipping a beat with these same-store sales declines. They are planning to open more than 100 new units between now and the end of the year. Among quick service pizza brands, which have been struggling recently, that struggle continues. Papa John's was the only one to see same-store sales increases last quarter, and those increases were just 0.9%. Domino's was down 2.9%, and Pizza Hut was down in even 3%. These companies, of course, struggle disproportionately with workforce shortages because they rely on in-house delivery options more heavily than most restaurant companies do. Other trends that we've seen include continued menu price increases for many restaurant companies. These are the third or fourth such increases in the past year as everyone still continues to struggle with inflation. Companies including Shake Shack and Portillo's are also slowing their unit growth for the rest of the year due to problems with supply chain, equipment, and some permitting issues that companies are running into. So overall, the state of the economy, still a giant question mark for restaurants and consumers alike, but these restaurant companies are hanging in there and making the most of a tough situation.
We heard restaurant operators echo that sentiment at Create the Future of Food Services meetup in Dallas. The event, sponsored by Johnsonville Food Service. Nation Restaurant News' Ron Ruggles was there.
Culinary professionals were told workplace culture is one of the most important things right now in recruiting.
I do remember cooks coming back to us and nice brand new shiny knives that were on for 2 weeks, a month maybe. So where'd you get that knife? Is that your, I forget what, the stimulus money? And I said, no, I was making double what I was making on unemployment. And I said, thank you for coming back. Like, why did you come back, right? I'm like standing there cooking next to you. They said the culture, right? Like, I miss you guys.
Nation Restaurant News' Brett Thorne was also there. He kept busy, not only moderating a panel on workforce disruptions.
But I also took the time to check up with my old friend and restaurant operator, Jeff Cinelli, who has Witch Witch and a concept that he created during the pandemic called Birdgesa, serving fried chicken, particularly Nashville hot chicken tenders. And he's also developed a new ordering platform that he calls Yellow Lab. Take a look.
The platform uses virtual cashiers, reducing the number of in-store employees who can instead concentrate on making sandwiches rather than take orders. Restaurants as a whole have become more reliant upon technology. A survey by Upserve this year found that over 80% of restaurants have invested in technology to streamline their operations post-COVID-19. Nation Restaurant News' Joanna Fantozzi has been digging into this trend, really looking at the rise of ghost kitchens and more recently, pizza bots.
And when you think about it, it makes sense, right? Because it's really easy to make pizza via an assembly line, which is essentially what a robot could do. Maybe they roll out the dough, they add some cheese, they add some sauce and stick it in the oven, and no human hands are necessary. And we're seeing a a real increase in companies like Picnic and Paestro, these technology companies that are making it a lot easier for pizzerias to cut down on labor, especially since it's so tough in this labor climate, and to instead invest in these robots that can make pizzas without human intervention needed.
So there you have it. You're now in the mix with Nation Restaurant News. For more coverage like this, be sure to head to nrn.com. Till next time, I'm Diana Blass.